Welcome to Grand Spirits Podcast, a place for gardeners and dreamers to self-actualize. What does self-actualize mean? It means to live in your ultimate truth, to be ultimately fulfilled, to surpass one's potential. The way to do it is by becoming a grounded spirit. A grounded spirit is somebody who is so grounded and so practical and can bring things easily into this physical world while remaining spiritual. If you're too grounded, you lose the fun, you lose the joy, you lose being human. You become too robotic. But being too spirited makes you be at the mercy of the wind, or the mercy of others. And so by balancing ourselves and becoming grounded spirits, we'll be able to achieve a life that we can't even fathom what this life could be. And that's what I'm here to take you on, this journey of self-actualization. And by doing this, everything else becomes being. You don't have to do anything after this thing, after balancing. And everything that you do, you'll be doing it from a place of joy and fun instead of force and punishment and fear. So, I have a new cover for this book. This is my Believe book, and it's a journey into yourself. It's a 4 rounds in here. 4 rounds to completely change your life by simply believing in yourself. And so what we're going to do is touch on this book today. I have all of my other books here, so if you want to check them out on Amazon, they are all there. But actually, before we jump in, I wanted to talk about my hiatus, because I was posting pretty regularly at the end of last year, and the only tarot card we got through was the Fool, and it's kind of because I still am in that Fool period. I feel the Magician approaching, but I have just really been jumping off the deep end. On Monday, during the Scorpio full moon, I was led to the beach. I wasn't planning on going there, and it just ended up happening. And driving there, I kind of felt the small voice inside say, "You're gonna have to jump in the water." And I'm like, "Yeah, right. Like, it's so cold out, like so windy. I'm not gonna go into the water." And then I get there and I hear the voice even stronger, even louder. So I stood in the water. The water felt so amazing, and I keep getting these little nudges like, "Hey, jump, hey, jump, hey, jump." And I was like, I can't. And then this huge wave came, and it was like a now or never moment, and I didn't do it. I couldn't. I was thinking about how cold it would be, how it would ruin my hair, how wet I would be in clothes. I didn't have a bathing suit. Like I said, I wasn't planning on going to the beach. And yeah, I couldn't do it. And so I felt like really disappointed and dejected. I'm like, okay, like, I give up. I'm just going to go back and sit down. And then the water came back up around me. It came all the way up to my calf. And it felt like the water was like pulling me back in, like it's safe. Like, you can jump into the unknown. You can do this. And it's safe, you're going to be okay. So I don't even know how it happened. I don't even know how it happened. I turned around and another wave was coming, and I'm like, what kind of person would want to jump in the water? And before I could even answer my own question, I felt my hand put my hand over my nose, and I jumped in. And it was so cool because it just really felt like jumping into the unknown. In the last episode, we talked about the Fool, and you can't see in front of you. In the water, it was all murky. I couldn't see if a shark was coming. I knew it wasn't gonna, but or like a lobster. I couldn't see anything, but I jumped anyway. And then it was so cool because then the sun came out, and the wind kind of acted as a natural, you know what I'm talking about, like the drying things, or you like step in like at SeaWorld after like going on a wet ride. It kind of felt like that, where I put my little jacket on and I made it like a little parachute kind of thing. I don't know how to describe this, but the wind would come in and it dried me. And then when I got in the car, I put the heater on, and by the time I got back, I was completely dry. So it was just like a moment of trusting the universe and the universe coming through, because that's the voice that I kept hearing too, like jump in, like you're gonna be dry, like don't worry about it, you're fine, kind of thing. And then I actually did it. So anyway, so now that I have done what the Fool card said, the Magician card is next, and I kind of already feel it, like when something's about to happen, and in my head I'm like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. It happens. So I think it kind of go. If you've listened to the show for a while, I talked about the broken glass theory, where a broken glass might no, where a broken glass chooses whether to stay broken in our current reality, the way that we see it as broken, or that glass could choose a different timeline where I didn't break it. Or maybe it's not even a choice if you don't believe that they have consciousness. It could be just like there's a different timeline where that decision wasn't made. And I use a broken glass as an example, but like there's a timeline where I didn't braid my hair like this today, or a timeline where I didn't come to this park today, which actually brings me up to my next point. So, the main reason why I had such a long hiatus was because our last background, you can tell it's completely different. Our last background was the epicenter of the Eaton fires in January earlier this year, and I was devastated to say the least. Um, Even as they were occurring, I just wanted to be there and like save my little sacred spot. Um, I'm posting videos right here for you to see what it looked like. It felt like home there. It felt like I had my own room in nature where the woodland creatures would come. I saw deer and a wolf. One time on the show, I don't know if you remember that, where I'm like talking to my phone and then the wolf just comes by in the back. But deer came, bunnies, ravens, crows, woodpeckers, uh, little muskrats, squirrels. I never saw possums, raccoons, or skunks, but my husband works down the mountain from where Grounded Spirits was. That's what I would call it. Like when I would tell my husband, like, "Oh, I'm going to Grounded Spirits today," it was there, and in my how I feel it, it felt like Grounded Spirits burnt down there. Um, so yeah, I was absolutely devastated, and I couldn't wait until the fires were put out so I could go. When I go, it's completely gated off. I'll put something here. I there's nowhere to even stop, or there's no way to even look. Um, so I haven't been back. So it's really really devastating. Um, but I think that everything does happen for a reason. And if that hadn't burnt down, then I would have never found this place. So, where is here? If you can see, like that little thing. Oh, no, it's right here. It's like the antennae. On the other side of this mountain is where the Hollywood sign is. So I would definitely say that my intuition led me here. Um, and I just think it's so perfect because right here, I don't know if you can see it, like this little strip, it kind of looks like concrete. That's the LA River. And I have become so close to her in the last couple of months where like this river is me. But it is also LA, and it shows how she shows us what we're doing with our emotions. And what we're doing is we're hiding them away, we're not letting them out, we're trapping them in concrete jails. And learning about her has just made me so happy and made me so connected to this space. And then the coolest part of all is at the old grounded spirits, um, in Eaton Canyon, that stream that I talked about, that it ran through in the background, because remember we could see like the San Gabriel Mountains with the stream underneath, that stream is a part of Arroyo Seco, and Arroyo Seco comes into the LA River. So I'm like, so perfect, grounded spirits. If you remember a long time ago, back when I used to live in Redlands, and I had one of like my early logos, it was the mountains with the river underneath. And that's kind of what we're getting here. Even though you can't see the river, she's right here, trapped in a concrete jail, and then we have the Hollywood Hills behind. So I just felt like this place was so perfect. And you can't really see her, you can kind of see her leaves right here. But I'm looking at, I'll put something here, so you can see her. I've channeled that her name is Maricielo, and she shows us how to stand tall while still having breath and spirit. So again, with the groundedness, like she stands so tall and majestic, but the spirit of having like this wave like structure to her, she's just absolutely gorgeous. And I've like really formed a connection with her. She's like keeping me in her like little force field here. Actually, she was the one that told me that with parks, there's usually a tree that had a strong enough force field where humans knew intuitively not to turn it into like a housing development. Like they actually um, were able to like stand their ground and have this be a place that they're like the bridges between society and nature. So just a little tidbit. All right, so now that I've caught you up with what's going on, let's get into today's episode. Very symbolically, Granite Spirits burned down, and now we are rising up, and we are getting closer to what gardening means and what dreaming means. So that's why I say that this is a wellness podcast for gardeners and dreamers to self actualize, because gardeners are people who take care of the earth, right? The earth does so much for us. Number one is giving us oxygen, and they love us so much that they give us this oxygen. The thing is that I don't even think trees could stop, like it's just so them that this oxygen that we breathe, it's given to us because they love us unconditionally. I feel like you're rambling. Okay, I'll cut that. So gardeners are the ones who take care of earth, of the garden. They are like one with nature. They love being in nature. They love yeah, just like plants and stuff. But gardeners also, is the term coined on social media for people who have a relationship with Mary Jane. And so here's one of my books. It's more of like a party game where like this one says, the Disney fanatic goes first. What movie is this quote from? If you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. So And then I obviously have like the answers on the bottom. But yeah, it's just like a fun little game. And then they even fun little plants at the bottom of each page. So like really tying in gardening, like being one with nature, and gardening, like getting obliterated. So the way that I see it is when in communion with Mary Jane, it's about allowing her to guide you to your intuition. And I think that some people like to just like numb out, which is fine. But I think that this is such a wonderful opportunity to connect with nature, to connect with your inner self, and to connect with who you really are. And having this relationship with Mary Jane has really taught me that. And so this book, like that was a silly example, and this can be for sure like fun. I think I'm all about the fun too, but there are also um, very like deep questions in here. Okay, here's one. Is there anything you would miss from this universe? Well, this one says answer all, so I guess we'll read them all. I only read the last one. If you could live in a parallel universe, how soon would you leave this universe? Number 2, is there anyone you would bring with you? And 3, is there anything you would miss from this universe? And I think that it's so important to have these kinds of questions so that you know what you want. You have to know what your values are. And that brings me to my next book. So this is the Believe, A Journey into Yourself. And this is the first, actually, I think it might be the second. The first exercise in this book is listing 10 things that you're most grateful for. By the way, if you stay tuned, I'm going to go through all of these books. Like, obviously not all today, but I'm not like by no means like saying like, oh, go buy them or anything. I just really want this information to go out. I made these books a while ago. But I mean, they are on Amazon if you want them, but you could also just get your own journal and follow along with me. So anyway, here, why are you grateful for these things? And was it easy to create this list? Why or why not? Like, are you aware of how grateful you are? And this actually really hit me this week specifically because things were going wrong for everyone around me, but for me, I was just kind of cruising. And I think it did have to do with like the Scorpio full moon because I have Scorpio in my midheaven. So I felt like I was really able to like step into my role as helper and guide, helping people through these transitions, which is what I want my job to be. Like that's kind of what this point of this podcast is, of helping people to self-actualize. Like I really want people, like, why wouldn't we want everybody to be healed? Because then you wouldn't be fighting. Like everybody would be able to get along, and we would just live in such a better world. And that's why I really love this question about what would you like about this universe? Why would you leave? Stuff like that. It's important to think about these things. And then Mary Jane just takes it to a whole new level that you've never even seen or like thought about before, which is what I love about her. But we need to be able to know like what we're grateful for so that we know how to move forward. My sister sent me this. She sent me this quote that Moses said, actually, that you can't want more until you have soaked up every ounce of joy of this current moment. So don't ask for a new house if you haven't loved the one that you're in. Don't ask for a new computer if you haven't loved the computer that you have fully. And I think that all kind of starts with this grateful challenge. After this is the values. And so I've listed a bunch of values, and you could go, there's like a whole little example here in the book where you list out 1 through 10, and then you go again 1 through 5, and you kind of do it like that to figure out like what are your top ones that keep coming up. And I'm just going to give you some of these examples. So like I said, you can follow along. So we're starting off with how to be grounded, because grounded spirits. But I think that I was first free spirited before I was ever grounded. So like that could be a thing too. But just like for this show, we're going to be talking about being grounded today. And we'll get spirit at the end. Okay. So let me tell you some of these values. So I'm just going to read them fast. Okay. And then you can just like, or maybe like if you're driving right now, then you can just like when they say one, you could be like, oh, okay, like let me like keep this in my mental log, because we can keep our working memory is 5 to 9 things. So if you can pick 5 to 9 things out of this list and then really reflect on those 5 things, like you're like on the right track kind of thing. And so there's no right or wrong answer either. All right, here we go. Stability, creativity, tradition, power, wealth, challenge, mindfulness, sustainability, spirituality, attractiveness, risk, contribution, inner peace, authority, forgiveness, hope, passion, service, helpfulness, generosity, impact, knowledge, freedom, commitment, excitement, popularity, family, service, selfishness, alone time, responsibility, honesty, humor, being correct, cooperation, purpose, adventure, health, fame, self knowledge, compassion, self esteem, independence, simplicity, virtue, world peace, faithfulness, hardworking, fun, caring, acceptance, change, success, genuineness, loved, tolerance, self care, loyal, beauty, courtesy, individuality, balance, authority, justice, accomplishment, autonomy, competent, self control, dependability, relaxation, order, humility, comfort, adventure, safety, rationality, generosity, self appreciation, simplicity, duty, and fitness. Just came to my attention that simplicity is on here twice. Interesting. All right. Well, it's in there twice. I'm not. I'm not gonna go back and change it. It's interesting because I have done this very exercise. This is probably now like my 5th or 6th time, and yeah, there's like obviously time in between, a few months, a few years, but every time I do it, I always get different things. And I don't think that that means that I don't have strong values. I think that it means that there are a lot of things that are important to me, but there are things that are more important to me at certain times in my life and less important to me in other times. But what I have seen with just myself as the example is that the main ones are knowledge, freedom, and fun. Like, if I have those things, if I can be free to do whatever the fuck I want to do, whenever the fuck I want to do it, if I can have access to knowledge and learn all the things in the universe, and if I can have fun doing it, then I'm solid. Everything else can fall into place. I just need those 3 things. Um, but it's going to change for you, you know? What you consider your dream world is different than what I consider my dream world. And then the coolest part of all is that you have your piece of the puzzle, I have my piece of the puzzle, and together we can create this amazing community where people feel seen and heard. Then I think that would just make the world a better place. A lot of times to get here, we need to self-actualize. We need to see what do I believe so that I can unprogram that and then reprogram what I actually want to believe. And so that is our grounding for today, is really looking at your values. Look at where Taurus is on your chart. Wherever Taurus is, how that area of life affects your values, and see if there's a way to bridge it, if there's a way to compromise, if there's some way to like make it work. So now for our second exercise on how to ground, we're going to connect ourselves to our breathing. So wherever you are, go ahead and bring your attention to whatever part of you is touching the ground. Allow roots to come down through those values. So for me, freedom. I'm envisioning my root go down, down deep into the earth. Your next value. Think about that. Think about how it already shows up in your life. And have such a feeling of gratitude for that joy that it brings to your life. And now picture the root of that value. Go deep, deep, deep into the earth, trusting that the earth will take care of you. Wildflowers still get water, still get sun, because they trust that the earth will take care of them. And the third value, think about how it connects you to others. Think about how it helps you build relationships. And how that makes you feel. Now picture that one. Go deep, deep, deep down, down into the earth. You're building a foundation for your dream life. Stay here a little longer. Allow any thoughts to bubble up. Now take a deep breath in. And out. What I love about Grounded Spirits is that as its host, I also become a grounded spirit every time I sit here with you guys in this energy, in this space. Now begin to come out of that state. Know that our roots are secured, and now we're ready to move on. Thank you. Now we're going to talk about dreamers. You're either a dreamer when you go to sleep, or you're a dreamer like you have really big dreams and you're going to do whatever it takes to make those dreams a reality. And I think that's why like it had to be here on this land, because Disney bought the studio right here, like down the street, after the success of Snow White. People in LA come here because this is the land of dreamers. We have to dream big because that is what our soul wants. And I think we've all always had dreams, but I think that fear and trauma kept us small. And we need to like punch our way out of it. On the road to self-actualizing, we have to become dreamers. We have to shoot further than our dreams, because that's what's going to make this world a better place, and that's what's going to make us more happy, because at the end of the day, isn't that what life is about? So now, like, how do we get there? And we're going to talk about another book. This one is called Learn to Dream, and the very first thing here and like this is the crazy thing, like I made this in 2022, 3 years ago, yet look how perfect this first quote is. It says, "Our dreams guide us to our ultimate fulfillment. That's why we call the images in our head when we sleep the same name as our aspirations." So just genius on my part. Because I don't even know like where that came from, you know? Like was that intuition? I have no idea. I wrote that 3 years ago. I don't know. But I think that the 3 years ago me is true. Look, oh my gosh, I even put it on the back of my on the book. Dreams are a guide to ultimate fulfillment. So the way that I always saw it was that dreams are trying to send us a message, and it's up to us to understand what that message is. Um, or this time I actually am selling before like the books not, but here like if you actually do have a dream that you want to talk about, like subscribe to this show because we're gonna get into it through this season. And then I also do dream interpretations, so they're an hour long. You can get the info on my website, theornellian.com. It's a new website. I've joined businesses with my husband, and so my businesses and his businesses are now coming together under this umbrella called the Ornellian. Our last name is Ornelas, and thus the Ornellian is born. So everything's going to be linked there. Grounded Spirits has its own page on there, obviously. I'm looking at a butterfly. Ah, how gorgeous! I believe she's a swallowtail. So anyway, looking at our dreams and understanding what are they trying to tell us, what are they trying to show us, what are they trying to work through so that we don't have to, and then eventually getting us up to the double. And if you are a fan of Carlos Castaneda, as I am, you'll know that dreaming, they use it as sorcery. They use dreaming in as a way of being in two places at once, or they use dreaming to be able to do unimaginable things in the physical by dreaming about it. I'm not explaining this well at all, but basically what they're trying to do is bridge their dream world with their current world so that they're living in both senses. Yeah. I think that's a good way of putting it. And I think it has to do a lot with lucid dreaming, which is what this book is about. And then I also have its sequel, which is this book, Dare to Dream, way thicker. But this is a 30-day dream journal to create your desired reality. So that's what's going on here. So basically, oh look, I have a thing on the back on this one too. Use your dreams to be in the highest, nope. Use your dreams to be in the timeline of your highest, most desired, and fulfilled life. Crazy. Like, I'm like blowing my own mind right now because I wrote these 3 years ago, guys. Um, anyway, yeah, so that's like what I really want to go deep into. Like, how do we use our dreams to help us get to that dream life? And how do we use both of these to like become actually self-actualized, be able to get through our traumas? So yes, this is a wellness podcast, and we're going to have different activities, different guided journal prompts. Like I gave you a few already today, and of course I'll list this all on the website too, so you don't have to remember it. I'll put it on the blog at Grounded Spirits. It's honestly probably theornellian.com/grounded spirits. So yeah, if you go there, I'll have this website. I'll have this video up. I'll have the link to the books, Avi, and then I'll actually write it out. I'll have the list of the values, and then the questions about the gratitude stuff to really get you on your path to self-actualization. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want. And yeah, so let's close with another exercise. Now this one is for the dreamers, and it's about being ready to receive and knowing your worth, because I think sometimes we feel like we have to work so hard in order for our dreams to come true, when that's not the case. So breathe in again. I receive. I receive. And then out, breathing out anything that no longer serves you. I even put my hand out, like creating space inside of me. Oh my gosh, this actually feels really good. All I'm doing is putting air in between my aura, I don't know, and my skin. I don't know. It just like feels really good. Maybe it feels good for you, maybe it doesn't. And what's kind of funny about this exercise is that it's like kind of relaxing and kind of meditative, but we're talking about getting spirited, so like my energy is just coming up and up and up, and I'm like, am I being too silly? Should I stop it? And I'm like, I do a chant. Oh my gosh, should I show you my chant? Okay, I'm gonna show you my chant after we finish this one. Okay. So, breathe in, I'm ready to receive, and then push out anything that no longer serves you. Again, breathe in, I am ready to receive, and breathe out. And kind of like move your arm in a circle, like you're pushing out everything around you, like all the way around you. Pushing everything out, even pushing up, like really stretching out your bubble. Pushing down. Okay. Now, this time when we breathe in, I'm ready to receive. But this time when you blow out, you're going to say, I am enough. So, like if you could actually like, what I like to do in the morning, I have a money tree in my bathroom. And so in the morning when I go to the bathroom, as I'm washing my hands, I'll breathe in her oxygen and I say, I'm ready to receive. And then I'll breathe onto her, I am enough, because she needs my carbon dioxide. And we have to start seeing our energy as a treat for others. That's part of like getting this, part of feeling seen is believing that people want you. And that's how you get a sense of belonging, and that's how you become self-actualized and have ultimate fulfillment. So, yes, I am ready to receive. When you breathe in, I am enough. When you breathe out, let's do it together. Breathe in, I receive. Breathe out, I am enough. One more time, I receive. I am enough. I still did the hand thing. That just came naturally. But I think it was more of now like breathing in all of the love that this beautiful tree, Maricielo, is giving me. And then pushing out as if pixie dust is coming out of my palm, the palm of my hand. And pixie dust is coming all around here and giving my energy back to her and thanking her for taking care of us today. And pushing out our energy to make the world a better place, to make ourselves more happy, to become self actualized. Thank you for spending your time here with me today. I hope, oh, my bad. I'm over here saying goodbye and I didn't even tell you my chant. Okay, so it's like low key cringe. So I think that's why, like, my brain was like, hey, forget the chant. You don't need it. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Here we go. It feels exactly like plunging into the water. So here we go. And like a little beat. I am all that, and I am me, rooted deep like an ancient tree. Power soft and voice divine. I speak my truth, and all is fine. I don't compare, I don't conform. I make the wave, I shape the storm with an open heart and steady breath. I shine my light, I dance with death. Too much is bad, the fear is old. I am the warmth, the fire, the gold. I rise, I flow, always relax. I have everything I need within my grasp. So yeah, that's my song. I like to sing it to myself in the car before going into like an important meeting or um, doing anything really. I didn't do it before doing this today. It kind of just happened. I've been wanting to record this episode for so fucking long. You have no idea. But something would just come up every time. And then the last time that I came, well, the last couple of times that I've come here to this park, there have been people here. There's been stuff going on, and then I just like felt Maricielo tell me like, "Don't worry, like when the right time happens, like when it's the right time, you, there won't be anybody here, and you'll be able to record." And then even sitting here before recording, I don't know, I was like in a mood. I don't know, I just like wasn't in the mood to record. And then it just kind of happened, and so now here we are at the end of the episode, 444 on the timer, and yeah, it just feels right. Um, but yeah, that's my song. It really helps like lift my spirit and trust in myself, trust in my spirit more, and know that I am amazing. I feel like I have no problems like hyping other people up. Um, but for some reason, I can't help hype myself up. The only and then because then I'm just like rambling now. But if you want to stick around, you can keep listening to me, or go or go check out the website, go buy the books, go do that stuff. But for me it's like when I when I am proud of myself, I feel like I'm bragging or gloating, and then I feel like it's perceived as wrong, and then it's like this whole thing, and I just get so mad at myself. Like I'm like I just like want to be acknowledged. And like I feel like I have the qualifications for it, but for some reason I can't get myself to receive the acknowledgement. And so I think that that's why this exercise is so powerful when you say like I receive, and then you know, letting go of the energy, or I receive and then like I am enough. Like my energy is so amazing that it attracts all the right people, that I find these opportunities come to me. I think it's like really embodying that I don't chase, I attract mentality. And so yeah, that's where I am with that. So let's do the chant one more time before we say goodbye, and then that'll be it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment below what your values are. What are the 3 that stood out to you, or the 5 that stood out to you? Um, that's like what I guess I was saying earlier, like with the different puzzle pieces, you know. But yeah, I would love it if you could comment. That would be cool. So yeah, let's take it home with the song. I am all that, and I am me, rooted deep like an ancient tree. Power soft and voice divine. I speak my truth, and all is fine. I don't compare, I don't conform. I make the wave, I shape the storm with an open heart and steady breath. I shine my light, I dance with death. Too much is bad, the fear is old. I am the warmth, the fire, the gold. I rise, I flow, always relax. I have everything I need within my grasp. Bum, bum, bum. All right, bye everybody.